Okay, so this video will be about my thoughts on the Minecraft movie. This will contain spoilers, so only watch if you've already seen the movie or you don't really care. Now, the movie starts off with, of course, like, I yearn for the mines, right? And it basically goes through that, and then he finds the Tetherax, and he goes to Minecraft, and he's like, Minecraft's great, right? Then he gets a dog. The dog's kind of a key part of the movie, but not really. And the piglins are like, he opens the nether with that flint and steel, and then he goes to the nether, right? And then after he goes to the nether, he gets captured, and then they take the cube from him, and then he gets the cube back, he sends the dog to his house, and that's yada yada yada, right? The dog puts a cube underneath Steve's waterbed, and then that's when the movie starts, right? Basically, we follow 5 characters. Steve, this one woman that works multiple jobs, Garbage Man, he's peak, and these 2 children, which I don't really care about, right? Then after the Tesseract gets put into the bed, we get to see the 2 children, right? One of them is an adult, apparently. She does not look legal to drive, but the actor is 23, I guess. Their mom's dead, so they're moving. This instantly gets into one of my least favorite parts about the movie, is that only like 50% of the movie is actually Minecraft. Well, not like 50%, it's probably more like 70 or 75. But like, there's a big chunk of time wasted on like things we don't care about. They move in. The kid, which by the way, the kid has like the way he speaks kind of pisses me off. I understand people speak like that, that's fine, right? But it just like, it didn't bode well with me because I feel like I'd like people to talk like, this sounds so disableist. I like when people talk like clear and concise, and they talk like in a way that doesn't piss me off, I guess. But like, he's smart, and somehow he manages to I don't know, he's going to elementary school and he built a functional jetpack, and then a bully cuts the wire on it so it crashes into a giant statue of a chip, which is where the girl kid works at. And it falls down the mountain, and yada yada yada. He doesn't get much trouble for it for some reason, even though that's insane property damage, right? And basically, after this, he goes to the principal's office. They're like, you need a guardian to come pick you up. He doesn't want to call his sister, I guess. And the Garbage Man, which he interacted with earlier, who, by the way, the Garbage Man's a big key character. Let me talk about him real quick. He's an old world champion. He's kind of going down a hole of, like, my glory's all faded because no one cares about what I did anymore. Now he's going bankrupt. He got an eviction notice, right? And he goes to I can't remember what it's called, like the boxes with stuff in them, to go auction to get the stuff inside of it because he thinks there's something worth a lot of money in there, and that's where Steve's stuff is, right? What happens is that Dan TDM ends up raising the price to like 800, and then he pays $900 for it, and he's like, oh shit, this better be in there, and then there's nothing in the box, so he gets pissed. But then he does bring back the cube, right? The cube that was under the waterbed, and the thing the cube is in, right? Well, he brings back them both in separate pieces, and he didn't put them back together. But he basically has it on display at his shop, which is getting evicted soon. And what happens after that is he meets the kid, and then the kid calls him, somehow he got his number, to come pick us up as a fake guardian. So he does that, and then they drive away, and then the sister gets worried, and then calls the real estate agent. I guess she got her number, and I guess it was probably a friend of their dead mother. I don't know where their dad is, probably left. But basically, she's like, "Oh fuck, where is he?" And then somehow the real estate agent finds out that he's in the middle of a cave because when they got back to the shop, the kid and the trash guy, they put the cube together and went to the cave, and now they're all at the cave. The blue portal sucks them in. They get there. It turns night. They all fucking get scared the shit out of by zombies, which don't really, well, there was like spider jockeys, there was like fucking 4 of them. That is an impossible thing. They all had enchanted bows, that's also impossible. I'm going to talk about all the things that did not make sense to Minecraft lore in this video, so if you don't like that, just leave, because it's kind of pissing me off. But, basically, he manages to, like, break a tree in one hit, which also doesn't make sense, because it takes way longer than that with your fist. And the kid runs into a tree, it breaks it, and then he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a genius now. So he builds a house before Like, I guess they all just, like, stood there. They got, like, there's some lag or something. Some ping delay. Because all those skeletons and shit that were chasing them just, like, stop and let him build a fortress. Like, he got the time to collect all that shit by himself to make a fortress. But, whatever. And then he, the garbage man is in a hole. He fell into a hole and he's digging out with a shovel. That I actually don't know how he got. It was probably left in the hole, I guess. And, garbage man's holding the cube, and they're in their fortress at the top of it. He's like, get in here, there's no door. And one reason that the fact that there's not a door that pisses me off is, I'll tell you in a second. Basically what happens is garbage man picks up the Tesseract, because, you know, gotta keep a priority straight. Big Crystal probably wants to keep that. It gets shot, the outer thing of the Tesseract breaks, so he takes the Tesseract, and they starts running to the thing. They break down the wall, so let him in, and then the zombies get in because a creeper explodes by the house. Which is another thing, creepers don't explode unless provoked, because there's no thing, and technically, I don't think a fire arrow sets off a creeper. I think they just burn. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong about that. It's been a second since I've Minecrafted, but I'm very versed. But basically, they go in there, and then they go upstairs. That's another thing. How the fuck did he not craft the door, but he crafted stairs? I don't know, man. It personally pissed me off, and I did not enjoy that. They're getting beaten the shit out of, and somehow Steve just appears out of nowhere and saves their asses kind of nonchalantly. Another thing that pisses me off is that, like, the hit points and all the creatures are kind of inaccurate. I don't really think that's small, I guess. Like, I don't care if they don't go down multiple hits, but whatever. Then we get Steve. Steve takes them. They're like, he needs the cube, but it's broken, so they need to go to the. Steve's like, okay, to fix the cube, which Steve's Jack Black. So that's, like, honestly one of the reasons that the movie's watchable. If Jack Black wasn't in the movie, it probably wouldn't be watchable, to be honest. Jack Black gets released to go find the cube because he wants his dog back, and because the dog dropped his collar, he thinks that the pigs have the dog, and he doesn't want the dog to die because he loves the dog. Which, you know, that's fair. And basically what happens is that Steve leaves to go get the Tesseract to save his dog, I think. And then he takes them to a village. The village has a bunch of crafting things, right? And then he makes them chicken. He does this little chicken jingle, which I thought was going to be an entire song, so I was kind of scared. But it wasn't, so it was fine. It was kind of funny. That's not how chicken works. I think it burns, you know? I think the chicken would burn. I think you need to cancel the lava so the chicken just burns to death after the lava hits the chicken. And then after that happens, if you put something in lava, it disintegrates, right? But basically after that, they do little funnies. They do some funnies. They walk around. They see the villagers. And then this is where the Technoblade cameo happens, which is so peak. They basically like, why does that pig have a crown? He's like, that's not just a pig. That's a legend or something like that. And it was like dope, and we all loved that, and everyone was happy, right? And then after that, they go, and then the diamond armor, full set, and all that shit, right? And after that, they get attacked by piglins, who can apparently drink this, like, nether wart potion to be immune to burning in the sunlight. Well, not burning, but zombifying. Fix my hair real quick. And basically, the piglins get there, right? And they're kind of fighting off the piglins. We have the girl boss scene, because you gotta show some love to the women, even though they don't actually get that much screen time or to really do anything the rest of the movie. It's mostly focused on the three dudes, right? And then we have one of the most interesting sequences in my life that was very weird to watch for a children's movie. They get elytra, and then they jump off a cliff, right? Now, Jack Black thought he had 3 pairs of elytra, and only... There's a lot of things here that piss me off, and one of them being the fact that he has elytra, which means he had to go to the end. The end is not at all relevant in this movie. The end is basically practically doesn't exist, alright? What's weird is the fact that he had to get 3 pairs of elytra, so he must have been to the end at some point, which doesn't really make sense. But then we have the fact that they're using the elytra and just flying around with it without rockets. Whatever, I guess. It's going up, it's not supposed to be. But basically, he's like, oh shit, I only brought 2. So he starts writing, Jason Momoa, which is, I think, his name. So I'm just gonna call him Poseidon, right? So he starts writing Poseidon on the back, right? Which doesn't really make sense, but whatever. And then we get this super sexualized sequence of, we get Poseidon and Steve basically having sex in the air. I'm not joking either. Like, it's genuinely, he's like, let my thighs guide you, and Jason Momoa's like, Arr! And then they're going, and then the the guests start lifting, they're chasing them, start lifting up a net, and then he's like, we need to go through that hole, you need to squeeze in, and basically they turn around and start doing 69 mid-flight. I wish I was joking. And then they go through the hole, and then everyone's happy, they hit the floor, and somehow they all die because their guest is autistic and runs into the cliff and everything explodes. Whatever. There was a rocket that propelled the child forward. The child didn't die somehow, I don't know how, but you know, good for him, I guess. Another thing is that the child made a gun. Guns are in Minecraft. Excuse me, guns are in Minecraft. Whatever. He used a paperclip and a tater dot, so... I mean, there must be something, I guess. But basically, they start going, and and then they hit the floor, and then Jason Momoa, or Poseidon, right? I think it's Jason Momoa. Correct me if I'm wrong. Poseidon's like, why do I smell cheese on my beard? Which is obviously a reference to smegma, probably. And he's like, I keep cheese in my pocket, which we never see. And, you know, besides that weird 69 flight scene and then talking about dick cheese, whatever, I guess. So, basically, Jason Momoa, or the garbage man, right? He's like, oh, if you give me diamonds, because he's broke, you know, this is fair. He's, like, losing his shit, because, like, there's a bunch of diamonds that he has and gold and shit. If you give me these diamonds and this gold, I will give you the cube, right? Which... okay, so basically they take a detour to go get the diamonds, and during the detour, they do something so sad that is so fucked. Okay, so basically what they do is they have the pig. By the way, the backstory behind the pigs is that they like gold, and then there's this one pig that was dancing to pig step for Nether's Got Talent and got bullied, so now she wants to rule everything and get a bunch of gold, right? Whatever. You know, they could have done better with the backstory, but it's fine. They could have just used the arch villager, the arch evoker from Minecraft Dungeons, which honestly would have been better, but whatever. I don't really care too much. And she's like, bring out the secret weapon! And then they say, I finally put the brain in it, right? I was so sad. I totally thought this was going to be the Wither Storm. Or not the Wither Storm, but just the Wither. And it wasn't. It was a big-ass piglin. Where's my Wither? There was also no blazes, and no Wither skeletons in the entire movie. Whatever, I guess. But, like, it's just I don't know, that pissed me off. So basically, the piglin starts chasing them, and they go to the mines, they grab some diamonds, which he put in his pocket, which you never see again. They start going, and then he's like, ah, shit, I had the rails the wrong way, so they go into his creeper farm. His creeper farm is just a fucking cave. There's nothing creeper farm about this. There should be other mobs spawning here naturally, but it's just creepers for some reason. And then also, he made a powered rail that had a missing rail that was powered in it, so it didn't work, and he also had it going through his creeper farm. Why? No one knows. They were doing this. Basically, they had to push the cart to the next powered rail, and then the pig explodes, I guess. I think he dies. And then they go forward, and then they get to the place. The child's mad at the Poseidon, and Poseidon's like, I need the diamonds so I can fund my life, which is totally fair. I would have done the same thing, to be honest, but I would have been a little less screwed about it. I'm sure he can spare some of the ginormous stack of diamonds he had. Or he could have just stayed there and got his own, but whatever. It's not like they can't go back. They get pissed. They go to the Woodland Mansion, and then they decide, oh yeah, I have a great idea for sneaking to the Woodland Mansion. They start playing like saxophone or something. I can't remember. But like, I guess for some reason the axe murderers, I think Vindicators are the ones with the axes, and Evokers are the magic ones, so that's what I'm gonna go by. So the Vindicators are all watching them with the Evokers, which is weird, because, you know, whatever. They eventually get pissed, and they eventually start chasing the kid who is sneaking to get the extra, like, thing that the Tesseract goes into. I don't know why they have them, that doesn't make sense. But then, what happens is that they all get pissed, and then they put them into a fight club, which is where the chicken jockey thing happens. That's kind of irrelevant, so there's not much to it. The thing that does kind of piss me off is that we never saw the Evokers use magic. Like, was there not the budget for that? I don't know. But apparently there wasn't, so they didn't do it, and big sad and shit. But, all that happens, it's okay. But then the child gets to the treasure room where it's supposed to be, and he's checking all the things. And holy shit, do I wish we had these treasure rooms, dude! These things were loaded! Diamond axe, diamond sword, wheat. There was an Eye of Ender in there, hinting at the end's existence, but never actually going to. It's kind of still pissing me off, but like whatever. But also the fact that this is one thing I did like. The child saw the axe and the sword, but he decided to take the axe. That's my boy. That's how we know we're playing on Java Edition, guys, because only a not intelligent person would grab the sword at that point, right? And basically, he grabs the thing, and then the big black man shows up behind him, and then he looks at him, and then has an aneurysm. Like, he actually just has, like, visions of everyone saying that he sucks, pretty much. And then he just tweaks out, and then he kills the Enderman with, like, perfect RNG. This Enderman has such a skill issue and, like, zero reach, I guess. And then he grabs the Ender Pearl, and then he falls through the floor because he digs through the floor for some reason. And then he saves them, they all leave. And after that, the pigs show up, right? And it steals the Tesseract, and then Jason Momoa or Poseidon, they make up, and then or I'm gonna call him Trash Man. They make up by he gives them the Tesseract back, but then they instantly lose it. And on the bridge, there's this entire scene where Garbage Man throws the kid onto a gas thing. He grabs on the gas thing, and then we got the slime block, and then he throws down slime block, Steve, and then he jumps on it and gets on the thing with him. And then for no reason at all, Garbage Man decides to be heroic and kill himself in the explosion. Oh gosh, he's dead! He doesn't die, by the way, in case you're wondering. No one saw that coming, I guess. But which doesn't make sense because he should have, because that was a shit ton of TNT and he was wearing no armor at all. But he does say that he used the water bucket, which, by the way, the water bucket release was so like not as exciting because he says it like a sentence before it. So he's like, "I'm going to use my water bucket release" instead of water bucket release, which would be I don't know. I don't really care. That's unimportant. But basically, somehow he doesn't die of the explosion, he comes back later. But for now, he's dead. Which they, unsurprisingly, don't care about. They're, like, surprisingly not sad about that. Whatever. And they go and then they find the sister. After they crash, they kind of pass out. And then the sister and then the old lady, the other lady find them. They take them to the mushroom house. And then they find the dog, right? And so now we gotta go stop this piglin witch. And, which in this point they start crafting stuff that it's just like not very exciting. I mean, whatever. Then they go to where the piglins are doing that, and then they set up a bunch of iron golems, and then they give one of them a boots of swiftness as a head. It makes like this swift golem, which doesn't really make sense, but whatever. We didn't talk about that, I guess. And then the Piglin Queen's like, "You fool! Iron Golems only attacked when provoked." And then like Steve or something, not Steve, I can't remember his name. It was like no, it wasn't Charlie. I can't remember. Piglin with a name shot at Iron Golem again. They started a fight. But the thing that kind of pissed me off is that I don't think that's how Iron Golems work. I think they always attack hostile mobs. So that's another thing that isn't true. And also the fact that there's no such thing as that. You know, feather, boots of swiftness golem, but whatever. I don't really care. Cool, gotta add something to make the thing exciting. Now, basically, it was a really anticlimactic fight. Not a lot happened. The kid was going up to the Tesseract to grab it back from the portal, which was causing the eternal darkness, so the Piglins could take over. And he fell. Oh no, because the big Piglin, there was a new big Piglin, by the way, shot him. And then, yeah. And then, unsurprisingly, Poseidon comes back and saves him from falling, and then everything falls apart, and then the cube falls. The Piglin grabs it, then the big Piglin grabs it. The Boots of Swiftness golem smacks him up and hits him with a like Mortal Kombat fatality, and then they get the cube back. The Piglins start dying, and then there's this actually kind of funny sequence that goes between Jack Black and the Piglin Witch, where she's like, "Come a little closer," and then she pulls out a dagger and like tries to stab me. My mic cut, continuing furious, so he swats it away, and then they do that like 2 more times. It's kind of funny, and then she's like, "Sneak attack," and then it doesn't work, and that's like, it's a kind of funny interaction, and I kind of liked it. That was kind of funny. And you know, it could have been a lot worse, but basically everything ends, kumbaya. And they basically have this entire sequence where they're trying to leave, and then Jack Black's like, they're like, "Come with us, imagine what you could do here," and then like they're all like sad because they're like thinking about leaving or staying, and the thing that's kind of stupid, nothing's stopping them from just coming back later. So basically, everyone leaves because they all want to have a fun life. The Garbage Man and Jack Black go make their little fun game with the kid, and then they're all having a great time. The lady gets a single job as a animal, like traveling animal carrier, and then the girl has her own fight club, I guess, and I don't know why, but they have all these diamonds and gold, and they don't bring any of that to sell. They could have easily become, like, really wealthy. And they didn't. For no reason. And that's pretty much the entire movie. Now, in my opinion, I think that Jack Black was the reason this movie was good, right? Without Jack Black, the movie would have kind of been mid. I think every other actor, maybe except the Garbage Man, could have been replaced as someone else, you know? But I do think there's a couple things that I do want to talk about that I thought were okay. Okay, there's this one sequence, actually. There's a villager that enters the real world, and there's an entire, like, villager love sequence that goes on, right? It's kind of funny, and at the end of the movie, they're like the after credits. There's like a entire he's like, our love was so great, it extended the bond, and he's talking like really clean, like British, not British, but like English with British accent. They extend the bonds of language, and they start talking to villager and each other, and he's talking English, and it's kind of funny, but whatever. And there's this I think that's all. I think that's all, to be honest. Oh yeah, there's the end credits scene. The end credits scene was a hint at Alex, right? Alex is in Jack Black's house and they get back, apparently. I didn't see it, but a friend of mine saw it and told me. And that's the Minecraft movie. In my opinion, I think it's a good 7 or 6. I think it's a 6, but Jack Black made it a 7. I think maybe it's a 5 without Jack Black, to be honest. I don't think it's rewatchable. I think it's a one-time thing only. But I didn't think it was bad. There's a lot of things they could have done. Like, okay, let me go over things that I wish they would have done. One would be, I think that they could have even spent 20 seconds of, like, they were digging, and then they dig into a deep dark, and Jack Black's like, we can't go here, this sucks, and then the Shrieker screams, and they, like, skedaddle. And that would have been it, but, like, that would have been just a cool kind of thing that they put in there, you know? And then the fact that, you know, there was nothing to do with the end. That was kind of depressing. I feel like there should have been more cameos, honestly. There also should have been some references. Like, I understand Technoblade was there, which is so cool. And also Dante Dame, I think. But I didn't, like, I probably missed a lot, but I didn't think there was too much else. But I thought it was okay. I didn't think, I could have been a lot worse. They could have done a lot of things better. If they make a second one, base it around the Witherstorm and something to do with the end. What is it? It felt more based off of Minecraft Legends, right? Although, like, there's a lot of things different than it with Minecraft Legends. But the thing that I didn't like is the fact that it felt a lot like Minecraft Legends. The old ones, like the 3 people in Minecraft Legends, like the big god people, they should have, like, at least had a cameo. Like, yes, this universe is here, and this is another universe of success and lovely and journey and adventure, or like something like that. Just a hint at like a Minecraft multiverse or something, like to just justify it a bit. But you know, I don't mind too much. I guess it was okay. I think it was I feel like I could have made a better movie. I couldn't make it myself, of course. I would have to, like, I could have made a better story. I may have been able to hire better people for it. Although I don't think that Poseidon or Jack Black could have changed roles to anyone else, because they were just the best ones for the roles. But my only problem with the movie, to be honest, my only, like, big problem is the fact that they spent too much time on the real life shit. I want Minecraft. I don't give a shit about their dead mother. What I think should have happened, we get the Garbage Man, right? We get him, like, losing everything, kind of, and, like, his desperation in, like, 5 minutes, right? Then we see they see him crashing out the side of the road, and instead of just going past him and living, right, they like kind of say that, yeah, our life kind of sucks. They kind of get like a 2-minute like backstory, right, whatever, and then they go to help him, and then they find the portal, and then, like, you know, everything happens after that or something. But I feel like everything that happened, like, not outside of the Minecraft world, wasn't needed. I felt like it lost my attention a bit. I felt like I didn't like necessarily like love it. They could have added more Minecraft. I feel like a lot of what they did was just kind of standing around, not doing much, and like, you know, they could have had someone who played the game direct it, so everything was correct. You know, I don't know, man. But it wasn't terrible. I mean, I'd recommend to watch. I feel like it was fun. It's like a. They should have made it. Okay. They should have made it 100% comedy. It was like 70% comedy and like 30% everything else. But they should have made it like 90 or like 100% comedy. Just make it a comedy, because then it would have been at least a little bit funny, you know? Because trying to make it like really serious and then putting Jack Black in the movie and all that, and then like doing this and that, this and that, this and that, it doesn't really work because I don't really care. I'm here for Minecraft, not to learn about the two children. And the one that's apparently an adult that doesn't look legal at all. Legal as in like can't drive, not as in the other way that you're probably thinking. The weird 69 while flying is kind of weird, whatever. But like, you know, I thought it was good. I thought it was decent. I think it's like great, but I don't think it's like terrible. Anyways, tell me what you think in the comments down below, and like and subscribe, and thank you for watching, I guess. So yeah. Hello. If you made it to the end of the video, please like and subscribe. Because I like doing YouTube, and I hope you like the content. So yeah, if you think of anything you want me to talk about, please put it down below, and see you guys later.